gotta believe, gotta believe, gotta believe. Hi! In a world where everyone's favourite group are the Beatles, is the Beatles, mine is the Hollies. And welcome. And so would you believe the world's still, as far as I'm aware, only podcast ever, and if it's not, it's the first, about the Hollies. I've got the pocket full of collections here. I've got to pick the right one. Which one? Should I go with the 73? I've got an 88. Where's my 73? That'll do. I'll keep this handy so I don't keep picking up the wrong one. I'm in a new room. This is number 7 in Music Complex. The one I'm normally in is over that corridor. It's behind you. Well, don't look behind you. You're at home or you're watching it on your phone or something. Is this recording? Yeah. I quite like it. The lighting's brilliant. It's a good enough space. I mean, I could touch the walls, but that's okay. What am I going to do? Leap about? We are now on to Hollies Sing Hollies. And I'm going to get the number. So episode 0 was done. Episode 1, Stay. Episode 2, in the Holly style. Episode 3, Holly 65. Episode 4, Would You Believe? Episode 5, For Certain Because. Episode 6, Evolution. Episode 7, Butterfly. Episode 8, 1968. Episode 9, we're in episode 10. We're in double, Holly Sing Dylan. Holly Sing Hollies, episode 10, double digits. I've made it to, but we're still in the 60s. We're still in the 60s for the final time. This episode, you can see some of the memorabilia there already. I didn't do this on purpose for coffee. It just happens to be how I set this room up. There's some good things in here. I might do other episodes, there's some nice green. Look. Nice, innit? Oh, I don't want to move it too much. And behind you is like, you remember Beryl the Peril? Remember Roger the Dodger? It's kind of that, it's like Man City, isn't it? Manchester City. I'll show you it. Hey, you see what I mean? Maybe it's although Manchester City's blue, isn't it? It might be their away kit. I don't know. I really hope this amp isn't. I didn't do a test. I've turned it that way and I'm not at the same angle, but that's okay. You can see this now. Hollies Sing Hollies. So the Hollies, with Terry Sylvester firmly established in this group, they had such a busy year, 1969. It's almost, they just delved right into it. Now, I don't know if they had all this work booked and then Graham Nash left, or if Graham left and then they got Terry and then just filled their diary. I mean the Hollies were massively in demand still, so it's quite possible that, because I don't know when they did a lot of TV. I think they did a lot of radio. I've not heard much radio with Terry actually, but a lot of TV. It might just be more the case that the TV appearances still survive. A lot of the Graham stuff were wiped. A lot of Terry stuff was wiped as well. But just by, the footage lottery, what I call the footage gods, have smiled upon us, and I say smiled, depends if you actually like the Bob Dylan album or not. So I use the term smiled loosely, or graced, loosely. But, we do have a lot of footage from 1969 of the Hollies with Terry in the group. And so it might be that they weren't more, they weren't busier, they were just the same amount. It's just that more evidence happens to have survived. So, Hollies Sing Hollies is obviously, they are making a statement. They're calling it that on purpose because they wrote it. Hollies Sing Dylan. We're not just that band who do, which it kind of goes against, because they kind of, people thought they were, and actually, I don't want to say anything controversial, but Tony was looking for hit singles, as everyone was, not just him, everyone was. The Who was still doing singles at this time, weren't they? I mean, they did Magic Bus or something. That might have been the year earlier, but even into the 70s, they were doing things like Long Live Rock. There's one called The Seeker, isn't there? I'm sure there's other ones. Is it Relay? Is that one of them? There's one called Relay as well. Pass it on, Relay, that thing. And they were still making singles that weren't on albums. So the Hollies weren't alone in this. But the myth, the thing I'm trying to get at is that the myth we have is that they're all, Graham tried to be edgy and the others, no, we just want to be commercial. and be safe and stuck in their ways. The myth, this is not me saying this is what the myth about the Hollies is. And the fact that they wrote an album themselves and called it Hollies Sing Hollies to make a statement, suggests, but then they do go and put that on the front cover. But I like this though. Like, everyone has a joke about this. Look at those shirts, by the way. John Lennon wears one on the front of Abbey Road. There, I was going to build up to that because I sort of discovered that and I was all proud of it and I was going to have a moment, but no, I just said it. There's also a photo of not Dick James. I've temporarily felt, the guy who laughs like Lou Carpenter, Sid James. Oh God, Dick James, Carry On Films. I'll publish the Beatles songs. Sid James riding a chopper bicycle wearing one of these shirts. And a company that does replicas of Beatles tour costumes have this shirt. I was going to buy one and wear it for this, but it was 400 quid. It's like, this entire autograph collection cost less than that. This guitar cost less than that. So I haven't, I'm afraid. But I do want to get one. So John wears one in Abbey Road, and there are some photos of the session. Obviously you can't see because they're crossing the crossing. He's got the jacket on, long hair and beard. You can't even see John's face on that photograph. But he's wearing one, and that would have been around the same time. Late '69. This was recorded. Did they do the single photo? Well, we'll get to this. Yeah, I'll talk a bit about this. We're going to talk about this. Is the big. If you even have heard about the Hollies, then He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother. And there's footage of me playing this. I'm not going to try and attempt it. When I play this song with Nigel, we do it in F, so that I can have the freedom zone. We'll do the lower bits, but I can play it in G and I can sing it in C if I have to. I won't attempt. I'll give it a go. Look. I just sort of do it like this. Obviously, there's no. You have to imagine the harmonica. I tried to be clever. See, and I goofed it up. I'm not going to try and be clever, but I go. I don't do the. But then I go. You see, with that, instead of the, I have that, and I let it ring out. Is long through the many a winding sun that lead us to who knows where. I love going to F there. Go where? A minor. Who knows where? Now I do a D6. But I'm strong enough to care. Now, will I get this? E flat. He ain't heavy. It's such a great song. He's mine. Now, Stand By Me, one of the most iconic songs of all time, and at open mics, one of the most overdone songs of all time. That wasn't a hit. It was not a hit when it came out. He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother. It might have made the top 20. It wasn't a giant, massive, it didn't get to number one. So it goes to show that don't mean, cover your ears, piss all. That don't mean piss all. Well, there's number one, piss. Goes to show, but it's one of them, you cannot deny that is one of the most classic songs of all time. And yeah, they didn't write it, but they're arranged. You cannot imagine it without Alan Clark's vocal on it. Terry Sylvester do. From which there is no return, no burden is he to bear. We'll get there. Love that. Now, does Tony sing a part there? I don't think he. Sometimes he mouths one on TV. Because how would it work if Alan's going? Da, 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 Terry is going. Da, 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 da. Tony might go. Da, 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 da. I don't know. But whether it's 2 harmonies or 3 harmonies, it is unmistakable Hollies and it is brilliant. Did people know that this guy Terry was, obviously they knew he had a high voice, but how much it was going to sound like the old Hollies? It still sounded like the old Hollies. And if people don't know who Crosby, Stills and Nash are, they go and they you know, just like Joe Public, and they know all the songs and that, but they don't know about the albums and that. They probably would have no idea that it was different people on this record. They would just think, oh, that's the Hollies. If you were to play them like On a Carousel or Carrie Ann or something with Eric on, you know, like Here I Go Again or Just One Look, and then play them He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother, which are 3 different lineups of the band, I think that most people would just think that was the same band. It's like, oh yeah, unmistakable, that's the Hollies. A brilliant song. You all know the story now about Tony found it in a publishing house, and I think I've mentioned this before, that he was the one who went round and the publishers and found all these songs, and he found that. Now, whether he thought this will suit us, the Hollies, or whether he thought this will be brilliant for Alan Clark, I mean, I don't want to dwell on negative stuff, but I don't think Tony Hicks and Alan Clark I don't know if they like each other or not, and I don't know if they would credit him for being brilliant, and if Alan would also credit Tony for, you know, my understanding is that unfortunately they didn't get on, they weren't, but I think Bobby kept the peace between them, because obviously Bobby at the time was Tony's brother-in-law, and then Bobby Elliott, he's like Bev Bevan. Wow, wait a second, what I was going to say was he's like Bev Bevan in that he keeps in touch with all the old band members and he's friends with them all, but we know that that's not true at all. Not Bev's fault. I'm sure Bev would love to be friends with Jeff Lynne, but Jeff Lynne wouldn't have a thing to do with Bev Bevan, but that's a whole other thing. But yeah, so Bobby stays, as far as I'm aware, he stays in touch with the ex-members of the Hollies. He still pals with them, chums with them in that. What's the B-side of that? It's that Tony song, isn't it? I feel the song, please stop playing. And then you don't hold it tight. It's in the same key. What's wrong with me? I don't know. I love that. Da, 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 da. That's such a good one of my songs, Strawberry Blonde. I feel like I've said this already. So have I already done this song? I'm sure it's the B. Well, I can find out because I've got a copy of the single right here. On the French Fontana, is it Fontana or Fontana label? It's got the tab on there. Old up, what? He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother. Yeah, Cause You Like to Love Me, Tony Hicks. So that means when this song was selling, you know, he got some good royalties because he wrote the B-side solo, so he didn't have to split it or nothing. This copy is signed by Terry Sylvester. In fact, this is one of the first ones I got that sent me on my way to wanting to collect loads and loads of like signed Hollies singles and unusual foreign ones as well. I love this. They've got the waistcoats on. Terry's got longer hair like he has there, so you can. A lot of 1969, I can't tell when it was, but if Terry has shaggy longer hair, then that'll mean it's later in the 60s. This is how I've decided to show my autograph stuff. I go, well, which one? Because I think you might remember the last episode, I showed that tour program thinking it was for the Bob Dylan album, but actually it turns out it was for this one, so I haven't brought that with me this week. Yeah, it's probably from the same photo session, except they've put the waistcoats on, although they might be double as blazers because they're quite long. They're just like they're more like sleeveless blazers than they are waistcoats. I love that. Nice card sleeve. It's got Fontana, Ireland, Phillips, and Mercury on the back. It's great that. So I've already showed you the first signed copy. And yeah, my song Strawberry Blonde, it used to go da 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 da. I've got those two. Da, da, da. So I changed it to da 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 da. Anyway, I was heavily inspired by that song. It's a great song. Just as I get to the door. Is it major? Yeah. Door. You look and see and say no. And it's a C minor. Oh, B flat. Stay. I love that song, Cause You Like to Love Me. It's a great, it's still like a classic Hollies kind of style. If this is the thumbnail, then I'm going to choose it. I'm going to keep still. I don't care. It's like Roger. It's the same, just Roger Moore. It's or I'm a teapot. This is the thumbnail. I kind of want this to be the thumbnail now. It's so funny. Like standing with a guitar, standing with a black T-shirt, being in a, all credible in the music, and then doing this. It's like I don't care. I like the Hollies. I don't like Kings of Leon or whatever, or Mr. Brightside or whatever it is. I like the Hollies. What do I care if there's a thumbnail of me standing like this? So what? So what? You've got a problem with it? I don't have a problem with it. Right. Hollies sing Hollies. They all... Oh, wait, apart from Bobby... Now, is this when Bobby Elliott wrote that spoken word thing, which didn't get onto the album? Because that would be a shame, because it would have meant that all 5 of them wrote this album, because Bernie Calvert gets a writing credit. He has a thing called Reflections of a Long Time Past. Da-dum. Is it da-dum? I don't really know. I had to learn that properly. I like that. It's a good piece, that. And there's a rumour that he used to play that live. They had the orchestra. People who went to see the Hollies in 1969, and I think even into 1970, remember Bernie Calvert playing that on the piano and them having an orchestra with them and that. And I think I mentioned this in the last episode. I don't know if they had the same orchestra, they took it with them, or they just went from town to town, or if they did a massive tour as normal, and then in only certain dates, like if they're playing a symphony hall, had the orchestra with them. Like some bands do that. They go on tour and they put special guests apart from, and they put an asterisk next to it. That's quite a common practice. That Bernie. So yeah, all 4 of them are. So does that mean? So the thing I started with, a thing called "Why Didn't You Believe," which this whole Christian rock, if you want to call it that, it was quite popular then. I mean, my mum was in a Christian band. I mean, she renounced. Although by then, had she already left it? Because she's mentioned the song. I heard it through the grapevine, the Marvin Gaye version, because and it was around that song coming out. But not that was true, just that was what happened to be in the charts when she kind of left all that behind. So, and that was like 68, was it? I think 1968 that song might have been. Okay, so not as that, but it was quite a long, and even My Sweet Lord, George Harrison, into 1971. This whole, and that one that goes, Oh Happy Day, that one. It was quite a popular thing, sort of Christian messages, but being put into pop songs. As far as I'm aware, though, the Hollies are churchgoers. I thought Alan Clark is, Bobby Elliott is, Tony I don't know if he is or not, Terry I don't think is, Graham probably isn't, Bernie Calvert obviously is. Now I'm saying obviously, you might not know, but die-hard Hollies fans know that he became a... See, I don't know what the difference is. I don't know if, I hear terms like Catholic and like Church of England, and I don't know which one people are. I just know that they like Jesus and they go to a church. But I don't know what a vicar or a priest is. I don't know which is if they're the same thing or if they're different religions. I actually don't know. But so as far as whether it's explicitly about that, I don't know. But I'm mentioning it for this podcast because that's what the song is. It opens the album with it, and then it goes into the fast-paced kind of gospel, kind of American kind of thing. Shall I show some copy? No, I'll tell you. I'm gonna open this. So I've been bringing with me that thing. What's it called? There's a trilogy of this. There is Clark Hicks Nash Years. There's Changing Times, and there's Head Out of Dreams. And it's basically 6 CDs in what we used to call a fat. Is it Fat Boy or Fat Box? They call this Fat Boy. They call this. And it's just basically a cheap, well not cheap now on Discogs, they're hundreds, but at the time a cheap way, and they're not the best remasters, and they haven't decided whether it's mono or stereo. It seems to be messy with what they go for, and so it's not completely complete, but a sort of cheap-ish way to get a complete-ish overhaul of them. And it's weird hearing them in the order in which they were recorded and not in the order of how they appeared on the albums. And that's how I found out about Holly 65 being recorded in 64 and stuff. What's the first thing on here? So this is all I've done all that, and I've done all the Hollies albums. So this is what I'll be, and my copy is signed by Bernie Calvert. Can you see it? There, look, you can see it. There he is in gold or bronze. So I love that. I don't want to say I probably haven't got the only one in the world, but certainly one of them. And I want that to be signed by Bernie and Terry. The Clark, Hicks and Nash, I want to be signed by Clark, Hicks and Nash. At the moment, it's signed by Clark and Nash, and hopefully I'll get Hicks added to that. And then I'll get Bobby to sign Head Out of Dreams. No reason why, just to have the full set spread out across all 3 volumes, and plus he wrote a song, which he's credited for on that. Although he did on here, but we'll get to that later. I think Transatlantic Westbound's on here. So where's it? It's got Here and Heavy here on disc 2. Where does it start? Well, the first one they recorded, according to this, was June 1969, and it was Do You Believe in Love, a great thing, which kicks off side 2, that sort of... I love things that do that. Jimi Hendrix does it on Stone Free, and he can do it like that. I can't. From here, I have to go, like, move my, his thumb is like a ruler. But like, I've tried to play. And Terry Sylvester is playing an electric guitar, and this marks his debut as electric guitar. When he joined, he was playing an acoustic in all the photos and all the albums and all the recordings, in all the TV appearances and things. But here he is, playing electric. So he's doing the... I don't know if... I'm guessing it's a Telecaster. I have not seen any photos of him this early on that I can remember. I've probably seen thousands, but... And he's got it quite trebly, and Tony's doing the... Probably on a 335, this is why I've brought this one with me, really. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Let's go back to the album order, I think, rather than and then I'll check that list to see if I've... And I can move these. Once I've started to show these, I can move them over here, which is what I'm doing now, viewers. So I'm going to put that back here. Because I've got to show you these in a sec. I'll tell you, why don't I have it, so I've got the right in. A very brief, I'll tell you, I'll use this as my guide. This is my original copy of it, and they've replicated it so well, they've even done the colour on the spine, just like they have on the original LP. I don't hold it up, you're not going to be able to see the detail of that. Gatefold, including the inner with like the... This is my original copy of it. This is how I first heard Hollies sing Hollies, and it's not mono and stereo anymore. I think from the Dylan album onwards, it was only one mix, the stereo mix. Why didn't you believe it's written here Sylvester Clark? Now, that isn't the first song they wrote, that is Soldier... hold up. It's not Soldier's Dilemma, it says Clark here. And when I think of Glorious Swan Song, I'm thinking that, aren't I? Which I think Sylvester started to write, and Alan helped him finish it off. And then Terry Sylvester found that he could write songs, so he's now like, hey, I can write songs. Brilliant. It just came to it. It's like Jimi Hendrix. That first Jimi Hendrix album, in his chronology, he went from doing like cover songs and like backing people up to suddenly having the album on. When did Jimi Hendrix write Are You Experienced? And they're not like first songs either. I'm using Chromog. They are high quality songs. Like, how did he suddenly just write all these songs? And Terry Sylvester, this is the first album that he's written songs on. None of them are duds. Terry Sylvester, who probably he said he couldn't write songs, or he never wanted to, or he couldn't do it, suddenly found he could. And they're brilliant. I'm suspecting Alan Clark had something to do with that. I think Alan Clark's really helping him out on all of it. Or maybe not. But I love Don't Give Up Easily, which here is credited to Hicks on his own, the kind of... And I just realised, as I've started doing that, you're thinking of You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet by Barkman Turner. Now, I'm not a fan of that. Obviously, I like early Guess Who, so I know that song because I've heard it. But I only really like early Guess Who. But I know that Randy from the Guess Who was a massive fan of the Hollies. There's every chance he could have heard this album. He could have done... If a foolish fool like me can't reach you easily, something must be wrong. And then the harmony comes in. Something's different when we speak. It seems the past 2 weeks that's not been so strong. Lovers have always had this problem. Ask anyone you see. I've never played this. Sometimes we've got to head it and fast. Don't give up easily. I love that's got the synthesizer on it, and I wonder if that was recorded at the same time as the Beatles' Abbey Road album, because the synthesizer would have been set up. And I asked I mentioned John Maycroft. Hi John. I asked him if when you see Bernie Calvert, can you ask him if it's him playing that? Is he playing the synthesizer on that song? And then I never, obviously, I think I asked him, I don't want to ask him too many questions, and I didn't want to, and I got the answer about the poster, about the 4 of them, which I did say in the last episode of this, but I don't know. When was that recorded? Oh, better get to that. See, they're all over the place here. I can't see it. Now we're into the next, I can't see it. My brain isn't seeing it. Well, I don't want to just be a video of me looking at this, so I'm going to talk about daffodils. They're great, aren't they? They're very colourful. I think it's the season for them. I've seen a few. Some of them are tiny. Have you seen those ones? They don't. Oh, I can't find it. I'm just looking. This is just looking like blurred. Why can't I see it? What's it called? Don't Give Up Easily. I can't see it. Here it is, number 8 on disc 2. Tony Hicks. Well, so September. So the Beatles had finished Abbey Road by then, because that came out. Well, the photo was done in August. It might still have been set up. I mean, synthesizers are massive fiddly things, like they're giant. They had to set it up in some other room, didn't they? It's not even in the proper studio. I've seen photos of 3 of the Beatles playing it. I can't remember which 3. And I think George is the only one not photoed playing it. And yet, ironically, because he's the one who is actually playing it. And all them wires and things like that. So it could have been left set up. Is the engineer credited? The engineer. Sorry, that's the fun. You'll find out in my series. The engineer. It doesn't give the engineer. Oh wait, no, it doesn't. I wasn't sure if Parsons was on this, because he engineered Abbey Road. If he's on this album too, Alan Parsons. But I don't know. I don't know is the answer. It could have been. So now Jeff Coles. My mate, hello Jeff Coles, he's watching this now. Now. He told me who did play the synthesizer on that. Now he might have to comment below, and viewers, you'll have to read it, because I can't find it. Is it worth, I should have looked at this before really. Is it worth me looking for it now? I'm going to try it. I'm just going to be through. I don't know who plays the synthesizer on this song. I'm sorry, I don't. It's probably dead easy to find out. It could have been Tony Hicks. Tony Hicks could have been noodling on it. It would either have been Tony or Bernie, I think. Or it could have been Bobby, or it could have been Terry, or it could have been Alan. I don't know. But basically what I'm trying to get at is I love the fact it's called Don't Give Up. It's like this Peggy Sue kind of thing. I don't know what Bobby's playing, if he's like hitting like a cardboard box or what, because that does not sound like drums. It sounds like that, doesn't it? So he's probably tapping on something. I don't know, but and it's got the synthesizer playing, and it's going, don't give up either. Ask anyone you see, this ain't the same as me. Don't give up easily. And then it's got this kind of whimper. It doesn't quite hit the note. It's meant to be, hang on, where's an A? It's meant to be that. But it's kind of, it kind of goes, like it doesn't quite hit it, and it's like this whimper. It's like saying, don't give up easily, and it's going, but the synthesizer's going, but I'm trying. Like that, and it's like, no, don't give up easily, and he's going, wah! Like I love that. I don't know if that was planned or it probably wasn't, but that's how I hear it anyway. Don't give up easily, great song, man. I think I said another word. How about that? Sometimes I feel it bad. I love the song. Oh no, he switches to full drum kit, because you can hear snare drum on here, so I don't know, man. I don't know what he's playing. If he's got a snare drum set up and then a cardboard the box that it came in. Like, no, I honestly don't know, but there we are then. Great song. The next one is very unusual. It's called Look at Life. And the reason it's very unusual is because it's written by Sylvester and Clark, but it's sung by Tony Hicks. And I didn't know that for a long time. Someone made a fan video of Tony Hicks with all these pictures and all soft focus and the all dreamy pictures of Tony Hicks. And I thought, why have they chosen Look at Life? And then someone in the comments saying, yeah, written by them, but Tony sings it. I don't know why or how this happened. Did they feel they had to give it? Did Tony feel like singing it? Or did those two say, here, Tony, you sing this? It suits him. What's it? Look at life, have a look around you. Look at life, doesn't it astound you? See the colours in the night. I don't really know it. In the colours of the rainbow, of rain. You must excuse me. I'm at that age now. Everyone's at that age. What am I saying? Everyone in the world is at some sort of age. It doesn't mean anything. Good song. And then it's got a... Hasn't it? I like that. It's a bit like a Pete Townsend sort of a thing. And look at life. Now, I don't know if that's Terry Sylvester or if Tony is doing all the harmonies on that song. So when you hear songs of that, I've always wondered, what is Alan Clark doing? Is he playing an acoustic? Is he sitting it out? Is he in the control room? Or is he doing percussion or something? I think there's I know there's a Bernie Beck. Dum, 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 dum. It does have the strings in that. What does it say about that? Did I see the name Alan Tew? Alan Tew. Is that right? Have I made that up? There's a Johnny Scott. Oh, I know Johnny Scott. Alan Tew. Look at Life with orchestra arranged and conducted by Johnny Scott. And yeah, that's that song, Look at Life. Great song, great song. It's a good, this album's going along nicely. Now the next one of my absolute favourites of all time, a weird, brilliant, weird thing, like a country and western thing called Please Sign Your Letters. It's like it's a great concept as well. It's a song that no one has written. It's not a typical boy, girl, whatever, or a place name, or it's a. Who writes songs about like not signing letters? It's brilliant. And it has this. Now, it's Sylvester. So this is Sylvester Clark Hicks, the first instance chronologically of those three as a songwriting team, and they've put it in that order: Sylvester Clark Hicks. I mean, I always say it alphabetically, but that's how it appears on the publishing. So Sylvester Clark Hicks. I've got to get used to saying that and not Clark Hicks Sylvester, but there we are. And that is so high. Alan Clark is going, please sign your letters. Sarah Sylvester is going, please sign your letters. And then Tony Hicks is going, please sign your letters. Now, what is that? I've always wondered what that... Is it a guitar slowed down? Is it a bass plugged into a Vox amplifier with the tremolo switched on? I did a video of it on this very channel actually. You can find it on here like 10 years ago, and I'm playing it on a Squier 6, a Fender Squier 60, plugged into a trainer amp with the tremolo switch on, and the backing was my 6-string banjo, which is going. So I think Tony's playing the banjo on that. Well, I think but I don't know if he's playing. I don't know what happened to Graham's 6-string banjo, whether that was Tony's or whether Graham borrowed it or what. But it could be. It's not plucked like a banjo, so that could be a 6-string banjo, just playing guitar chords on it. And there's a diddle 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 diddle, which I'm assuming is Bernie Calver playing the piano. No reason why to think otherwise. But then I say that, and it turns out that this thing now you're getting a Would You Believe exclusive here. You're getting a Would You Believe moment. This is me saying something and then remembering something I should have said earlier, having been reminded of it by the thing I'm saying now. So what I'm saying is, you always assume that one of the Hollies is doing it, and then you find out it's a session guy, and you think, well, why is it a session guy? I'm going to have to say that. I don't want to say the name right. There's a guy who wrote Blackadder. His name is Ben. And his surname, That guy, and the surname is John Lennon's first name. I don't want to say the name on this channel because I don't want to be because all everyone ever goes on and on about the Hollies is, hey, guess what? Did you know that, Reginald played the piano on it? Yeah, I don't care. Is that all you can talk about? Is that all you... There's more to life. I'm trying to talk about the Hollies here, and all people go on about, yeah, they're really brilliant. Why is that? Because Reginald played the piano on... So what? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? I don't care. I do not care. Like, honestly, Mojo Magazine, fans on the... And then you always get some comments. Did you know that Reginald played... Yeah, I don't care. I do... Now, this is the thumbnail right here. I do not care. The Hollies are... They don't need... And the Hollies themselves do it now. Like, Bobby Elliott was doing that talk in that church when I went to see him, and he's like, and then Reg came down and played... And they're like... You don't have to measure yourself against... measure yourself. But you know what you don't have to... It's not important. And I just spent 10 minutes saying it's not important. It's not important. I don't care. I do not care that this guy played the piano on He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother. And then again on whatever... I can't tell the... that thing. And... apparently a song on Evolution. I've not been able to hear him, but apparently he's on that too. I don't care. I don't care. I do not care. Where was I? Please sign your letters. Yeah, so what I'm saying is you're assuming it's Bernie Calvert playing the piano, then it turns out to be a session guy. So this happened with He Ain't Heavy. For my entire life, I thought Alan Clark was playing that iconic and almost flat. Have you noticed it goes a bit flat? Harmonica. Do you call it a riff, a motif, a melody, a line, harmonica line on He Ain't Heavy? But He Ain't Heavy. But it's not. It's Tommy Scott, the American guy who played on, Brian Wilson records and things. Like, how did they get this guy to fly over, pay him a session fee, do this song? When Alan Clark was just right there. And then Alan Clark played it anyway. When they went on the radio or when they played it live on stage for decades and decades, it's Alan Clark playing it. And there's Peter Howarth and Carl Wayne, who, as far as I'm aware, aren't harmonica players, but they've learnt it for when they were doing it in the Hollies. And I think Rickfors too, although Rickfors is a harmonica player, so it wasn't so difficult for him. But you know what? It just baffles me that you've got Alan Clark. He is literally the harmonica player of the Hollies, standing right there. But you fly in a guy from... It would have cost EMI a fortune. So that I do not understand. And the reason I know this because Alan Clark himself said it in an interview. One of his more recent ones, his most recent album, I'll never forget. And he just casually dropped it to me, it was like, whoa, this is brand new information. And he went, and then there was that harmonica played by Tommy Scott. I thought, what? That's not you playing. So it wasn't Alan Clark playing that. Maybe that's why it's flat. Alan Clark would have played it properly. So that just reminded me of that. So I'm assuming it's Bernie playing the doodly 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 doodly, but it might turn out to be a session guy. For some, I don't know what the Hollies... They are known for doing baffling things. There's so many things about it that is baffling, and this to me is one of them. One of the things that just why. But there we are then. I think that's enough. But I love it. It's one of my favourites. It's high though, and especially the. I'd love to see it, but somehow it goes somehow. I'm not even gonna. I don't want to cause damage, and not just to me. I'm causing damage to speakers. I'm causing damage to dolphins. I'm causing damage to dogs who are 3 streets away. I'm not even going to attempt it, but it's an early example of the 3-part harmony of Alan Clark, Terry Sylvester and Tony Higgs, and it is absolutely brilliant. All the instruments drop out, and the 3 of them, oh my god, the 3 of them do that bit, and it's amazing. And then it's got that, so that tremolo thing, I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing it's a bass plugged into a Vox AC, let's say AC30 with the tremolo switched on. I'm guessing. I mean, to my ears, that's why. And when I tried to replicate the song, using a Squire 6 instead of a regular bass, it sounded pretty close. Alright? I just see what the next song is, right? We're going to need a coffee for this one. We are going to need a... Have you all got one at home? Here we are then. Have a sip, right? Because this is it now. This really is it now. Alright then. My life. You already know what I'm going to say. You already know. My life is over with you. Whoa, Alan Clark is not mucking about. There's a tape of the Beach Boys and Brian Wilson, who's been through, and he's on his, the Brian's back thing, and he's got, I've got these new songs, and there's a tape of him playing the Beach Boys, these new songs, things like I'll Bet He's Nice and, stuff like that, and they are going, whoa, he is not mucking about. He is not messing around. Alan Clark is not messing about. I found a new part to play in life. There's different actors on my stage. Now is it? I found a new part to play in life. What a line. There's different actors on my stage. There's different, there's literal and then there's poetic and then there's Alan Clark is just so underrated. That's an amazing line. I've found a new part to play in life. Talk about playing parts. There's different actors on my stage. The metaphor is, the stage, but literally because they're the Hollies, they are on a stage. And there's different actors on it, you know what I'm saying? And like Graham Nash is, he's left the group and it's, now he has denied it, and you have to be respectful if like, Alan in interviews has said, no, I know what it looks like, it came out at the time, it's not about Graham. He could just have been saying that because they remained friends or they reconnected but it's 1969, it's the first self-penned album since Graham left. And it's saying, where were you, my friend? Or you've left me and all this, and he's changed it to my love, so it sounds like a jilted, romantic relationship rather than but he's saying the whole I go on and on about it, but the line there's different actors on my stage, like whoa man, it's like whoa, come on man, come on. And Graham Nash would have heard this song because I was going to get to that on the next album, but I'll mention that here. See, for years and years, and because I'm getting used to, I was going to say this on the next album, but I'll broach it now, and I'll probably forget about it or not finish it, and then repeat it on the next episode. But so I like stuff that was from before I was born. So I take everything as that. So this to me is 1969. I think 1969. Confessions is 1970. And then I found out late in life that Confessions, most of it was recorded in 1969. And same with Beatles albums. I think of Beatles for Sale as a 1964 album. But because they were people's Christmas presents, most fans in real time would remember that as a 1965 album. Same with Rubber Soul, 1966. I think of it as 1965. White Album, it was made in 68, I think of it as 68, it was released in 68, but it was released at the end of 68, so for most fans it's a 1969 album. So I know the story that Graham Nash came to visit his mates, the Hollies, and apparently according to this myth, this thing, and the famous to Hollies fans quote is, hey, if you guys were writing stuff this serious when I was in the band, I never would have left. And I always thought that was the Confessions album because one of Graham's songs is on Confessions. Also because there's him on TV in 1970. He came to the UK with Crosby. They did a BBC special thing. And there's also a signed autograph, which I kept meaning to get. It was on eBay for centuries. Finally, someone's bought it now, so I didn't get that one. But it says to Margaret, which is my auntie's name, so I could have pretended it was hers. But it's a weird signature. It's Graham Nash's 1970 signature. He's moving away from his 60 signature, and it's starting to take the form, the shape of his later signature. But it's got really kind of curves and stuff. A really weird kind of one-off signature. There's no other Graham Nash signature like it. It's the only 1970 example I've ever seen. And it was signed in the UK. She went to, whoever Margaret was, went to see him in the UK. in 1970 and got it. So I just assumed that was, but number one, it wasn't Confessions, and number two, even if it was, Confessions wasn't even recorded in 1970. I think most of it was, probably even all of it. I'll find out when I get to that episode from this, I'll check in here. 1969, but no, so Hollies Sing Hollies was actually the album that Graham Nash went to visit him and then said that famous quote about. Whether he had, so I don't know, obviously he might have heard this, and there's no record of, did he hear it and go, uh-oh, I don't know, I honestly don't know. That's a great song. And who plays that 12th string on it? I'm assuming Alan Clark. I mean, he was a very capable, brilliant guitarist, so, no, I can't work it out. Is that right? And then it goes. Oh, I got it right. Oh my God. I was tempting fate there. It was like, it was like something, and I did it. I got it right. I'm not going to try it again. Great piece. Please let me please. I love this. The end of side one. Now, there's definitely the Archies are coming in this. Now, what I used to call power pop, because I thought the power referred to, how poppy the pop was. You know what I mean? Like power pop. But no, actually, power pop is kind of the power refers to the aggression. And this is actually bubblegum. The thing that I used to call power pop is actually called bubblegum, which is uber pop, like such poppy pop. It's so pop that it's just painted pink, and it's carbonated, and it's got rainbows and daffodils. I mean, that kind of pop, really kind of you are my candy girl. Look, it even mentions candy in it, that kind of thing. Monkeys, some of the monkey stuff, that one that goes, I love you, yes it's true, cool, don't be cool, get the just a little time, good I am here, I give you apples, peaches, bananas and pears, that sort of thing. Really kind of skippy, kind of poppy, kind of and this one is, I love that kind of music. Sometimes people find it annoying or twee or whatever, and I think if it's done right, it can be brilliant, and this is done right. The Equals, I mean, how to word this? You must remember that my father was from the West Indies. I am not white. I'm not a white person. So the Equals, they did this kind of music, so it's all right. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm getting at? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to get at? Like, this really, really kind of sort of dazzling kind of but you know what I'm trying to get at. And I think Tony Hicks must have been listening to the Equals when he wrote this song. He's credited it. Please let me please. It's not Hicks. Oh, Hicks Clark. So they could have both have been listening to the Equals. It could have been an Equals song. They might even have written it for them. I mean, they didn't need to. Wait. Okay, so Eddie Grant was their in-house and very capable songwriter, but Eddie Grant might have left by then. So I've just thought of this. This has just come to me. You're watching a Would You Believe exclusive. This is happening in real time. For decades I've loved this song. I've loved the Equals. I've loved the Hollies. And I've loved this song. I just realised, by 1969, I think Eddie Grant had left. So they could have written this song for the Equals. A great thing like, Terry is playing an electric guitar now, as I've mentioned earlier. So he's doing the... You see what you're doing? You're kind of muting it, aren't you? It's kind of like... Is it better from that end? Can you see what I'm doing? That, look. I don't think you can really. If you're a guitar player, you kind of know what it is. And he sings well high. He gets up to a D, which when I did the song Hollies, Nathan Sings Hollies cover album, did I slow it down? I don't think I did this one. I'm not doing it in falsetto. The song was wrong, and that I was wrong. Come on and tell me, but don't laugh in my face. Please, let me please. You kind of have to, please let me. You kind of have to do that as in the mic's there and they're going, meh. You have to get a microphone that does that. Please let me. That's just how I did it. I went for it and I had to do it in one take. I couldn't do it. I can't do it like Terry and Graham Nash do. Like, Like they naturally speak high, and they could, well, back then anyway, they could go on a stage and just sort of do this for a whole tour every night, or recording sessions that have been hours and hours long. I can barely and you can hear me wobbling now, but when you hear it mixed in a harmony and there's other stuff going on, I just about get away with it. But if I were to join a cover band or tribute, like, no way in hell would I be able to pull that kind of nonsense off. I cannot pull that off at all. And I say that, I happily admit that. And I love that. And then he goes. Oh, I'm doing the wrong shape there. I think he goes back up. I don't know where he goes. I mean, I've played it, so I should have, but I don't know, but I love it. It's such, and that's Tony doing the riff. He's doing it on a 335, I believe, and Terry's on a Telecaster, and they mix the two together. The two together goes so well. It's like Tony Hicks admitting that, because he never needed rhythm guitar, or he never liked it, but now he's embracing it. And he does today when you got like Steve Lorry in the current lineup, and and Peter Howarth, and Tony Hicks happily has other guitar players there, and he did as early as Rick Fuzz. When Rick Fuzz was in the group, Tony would pick up a bass, I think, and Rick Fuzz would play. I mean, we'll get to that later, but yeah, this is the whole thing of Tony Hicks. This because I'm thinking, did Brian May ever do that? And these people who are guitar heroes, although Tony Hicks is underrated, you never see him in the list of whatever. But we know, don't know. We know, Tony is up there with, in my opinion, the Jeff Becks, the Brian Mays, or the Tony Hicks. You absolutely mention him in the same sentence. I mean, come on, we know. I mean, you'd probably get laughed at in guitar world, but people watching this who have these albums, yes, we will mention Steve Howe and Tony Hicks in the same sentence. Whoever it is, another name that I don't want to mention, because I don't really care, even though he plays on Hollies sessions, the Everly Brothers thing. All right, his first name is the same name as Jimi Hendrix, and his surname is, when you're reading a book, you turn the... that guy, I don't want to mention that. That's such an obvious thing to like. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Tony Hicks and that guy in the same sentence, any day. As in, Tony Hicks is far better than. But yeah. And no, I just love the song. So it's such a great riff, and it's got all horns and strings and all sorts on it. Is this the one I said was Johnny Scott? And the strings, when they go that, I love that. That's what it's. Oh no, this is Alan Sue. So Johnny Scott did Look at Life and My Life Is Over With You. Alan Sue has done Please Let Me Please, and he's on the side 2 as I get to side 2 eventually. It's taken a long time, isn't it? Actually, how long have I got this? God, it's nearly an hour. I haven't got this place for long. I've got like 40 minutes left. I can't. This is like one of my longer ones, isn't it? I mean, I thought this would be not a short video, just because I don't have loads of signed stuff from this era. I got enough. I've got albums, CD, what's it called? Magazines. I got magazines. You have you there? I got magazines. That's from a Family Guy. When Quagmire finds out that handsome are not girls, but I got magazines. That's just found it so funny. Less side one. Please Let Me Please. It sounds like the Eagles, Uber Pop, whatever this, and great song. Why always treat you right? Why do you wanna fight? Go on and tell me, but don't laugh in my face. Alan Clark saying, "Don't laugh in my face." Would you believe? If I just saw this show, I'll admit I was right. Come on and tell me, don't laugh in my face. Please, let me please, please let me please, please let me Louise. Such a bouncy, poppy, brilliant, great song. It's joyous is what it is, joyous. And I've already talked about Do You Believe in Love, how it comes after this, because I heard it on the CD, but originally you would have turned the record over. And I mean, if you think Please Let Me Please is the Archies, then Do You Believe in Love is Scooby-Doo. That song is so, if you open the word, a dictionary, and you look at the word groovy, it is this song. This is such an Austin Powers, like, the 60s were never like that, okay? Like, the whole Austin Powers thing, it's like, it was never ever like that. However, this song is lava lamps, it's like garish wallpaper, it's people going, hey, let's all have a groovy time. It's people driving Volkswagen vans, camper vans, painted, and it's Scooby-Doo solving mysteries. This song, Do You Believe in Love, is so, quote marks, groovy. And there's this idiot who is a friend of mine, and her husband is an idiot. I want to say their name so bad, and he's one of those pompous. I hate these, and I'm one of them, and I hate them. These 60s people who go to Velvet Illusion, they all have Paul Weller haircuts, all their songs go, but they think it's garage band. They walk around with a copy of Forever Changes by Love. There's millions of these people. They all love the Small Faces, who I love, but they ruin the Small Faces. I love the Small Faces. These people ruin it, and they go, oh yeah, everyone likes the Beatles. Well, I like the Kinks. I say that about the Hollies, but I'm like the only one doing that. These idiots, like hundreds of them. Anyway, the point of getting us, and they're a husband and wife, and the guy just keeps ripping on the Hollies. He's the reason I'm making this series. Well, he's not. Like, I don't care. I care about him about as much as I care about Reginald, the piano player. He's a Wally, and and you do think, why the hell is you married to him? How the hell does him get to be married to, you know what I mean? And it's like, you leave people over this. I'm sorry, but you leave people, you divorce people. You don't like the Hollies. Wait, you're gonna slag off my beloved Hollies? Surely you do. Surely that is grounds for divorce right there, like in the courtroom. And what was it, adultery? What was it? Was he like aggressive? No, he didn't like the Hollies. That's it. That is it. That's all you need to say. And one of the things he keeps saying is they're not groovy. Yeah, but they're not exactly groovy, are they? They're not really groovy. Play him this song. This is the grooviest song ever in the history of music. It's even got the word love in it. Do You Believe in Love by Sylvester Clark Hicks. So did the three of them write it? I thought it was just Sylvester Clark. Let's see what the label says. I should talk about the label actually, because how it's like original yellow parlophone, because Discogs lists this as 1970, but I always thought it came out, Sylvester Clark Hicks, 1969. So are there 2 issues of it? And even 1970 issues. I'm going to drop this on camera. Please, Jesus. Please, Jesus. Why didn't you believe in Jesus? I did it. I don't ever want to do that. Oh, God. Oh, it's not. All right. Can you see the colour of that? Well, not really. You can't really. Yeah, it is the grooviest song ever. It makes Scooby-Doo sound like, English Country Garden. You know what I'm saying? It is amazing, and it's got this Hammond organ going. It's just going. Sing it with me at home. Get a Hammond organ, put a laptop on top of it, get D7 ready, and then go. It is just like it. Get lava lamps on, the whole Top of the Pops too, and the 90s idea of what the 60s was like, but it was actually nothing like that. Except for this song. This song is exactly like that. And if you're got a fringe and you wear like white boots and you're into and you're married to a husband, you're into this sort of thing, and you divorce your husbands, all of it, if that is what they think of the Hollies. Alright, enough of this garbage. Oh, nowhere near enough. Nowhere near enough. I'm barely on side 2. You're going to watch this, put it on double speed, watch it in 2 parts. I'm past the part where I care. I care not. No one's watching this anyway, apart from Andrew. Hi, Andrew. How's it going? When I say no one, I don't mean it's a metaphor. I don't mean you're no one. I mean, he's going to co-host it with me. Only 3 episodes to go, I think. Whenever it is, it's soon anyway. Soldier's Dilemma, they're like, please answer my question. Why should we go to war? That's the Alan Clark thing there, great song. Hollies Getting Real, they're talking about, issues, they're getting real. This is before Confessions, the album Confessions, they're already getting real. And this is Graham Nash saying he wanted to write meaningful songs and the other Hollies don't. It seems the other Hollies are finally starting to do that, but they did before. I think that's another massive myth about them. I think it's another myth. I think they were before, but I've talked about all that. Marigold, one of my absolute favourite things. This is Alan Clark on a home tape recorder. And I knew this to be a fact when I felt pleased with myself. When I was like a child, I heard this. And I knew that was a home tape recorder because I'd made home tape recordings myself. And then when I grew up and got into, Yahoo forums were invented and stuff, and Hollies experts were around, and then I found out that it was indeed a home tape recorder. I went, great, I was right. So he must have brought it into the studio, probably threaded it onto the thing, the Abbey Road tape machines, and then it goes into so the first song Terry Sylvester ever wrote, Gloria Swan Song, which it's called Song with a G, but is it based on Swan Song? Like the old, who is that? Like a silent movie actress or something? Or like 30s, a bit later, like 1930s. And it's longer because they've joined the two songs together. And I like it's in that, like minor, I don't really know it that well, even though I love it. And I'll talk about this when I get to the album Distant Light, like songs that I kind of have heard 1,000 times but don't really remember. But when I do hear them, I go, oh, these are brilliant. And then when they go off, I don't seek them out. Like I listen to Marigold and then I'm guilty to admit, like I always stop it. Like I recorded just Marigold on my Hollies covers album. But that's not saying I don't like Gloria's Swan Song, it's brilliant. And it's like so it's like now am I singing Charlie and Fred? I just realised that. But anyway, and then it goes Swan, it changes to major. I love when it does that. So you go Have I mentioned that? Like I say, I don't really know it. I've just heard it enough times to kind of go, oh, I recognise that chord sequence and that bit when it goes into that. That's that song. Now, You Love Because You Like It. This might be the only one I'm not that crazy about. Like, it's them doing the uber pop thing, the extra bubblegum thing, and where on Please Let Me Please it has brilliant results. You Like Because You Love It, I'm not crazy about, but I see what they're getting at. And he's doing a muted, like he's muting it as he plays it. I'm not going to try and play it, because I'm assuming that's Tony playing that on an acoustic. And it's got all these tweet kind of things in it. Maybe I'll listen to it a few more times. It's saying Sylvester Clark here. Oh. I don't know how it goes, but it's one of those ascending da-dum-dum-dum. It might even go down to E there. And it's got that, I didn't know what to do. It's got that. I'll listen to it a few more times maybe, if I want. Reflections of a Long Time Past, which I've already talked about. Bernie Calvert's debut. Well, I say debut, I think it's the only one that actually got, he had this other thing called Snow on Heavenmore, No More Snow on Heavenmore. I don't know how that's on YouTube, and I don't know how that got leaked out. Maybe there was an acetate of it, I honestly don't know, but Sound Cafe, is that what they're called? Oh, I'm terrible. I mentioned John Maycroft, and the band that he's in now, who collaborate with Bernie Calvert, did an updated version of it, and I've heard it's on their SoundCloud. I'm not breaking any confidence on nothing. It's like, I've always been sensitive about it. I say, this is too new to me, and it's like, like I say, the Hollies are not and never will be the Beatles. So if someone tells me something, and I say, I'll promise to keep a secret, I do keep it a secret, even though I've got like a very small, close-knit group of Hollies fans who all kind of, we know each other. It's not Beatles stuff that's going to get out like Carnival of, people hate that people go on about Carnival of Light like it's a big thing, and then it becomes this whisper, and they go, have you heard, there's this thing called the 27-minute Helter Skelter, and it's like millions of people around the world, they put socks on, they have a toothbrush, they walk down some stairs, they wear t-shirts, they have strands of hair, they've got molecules and DNA, normal people, just every day they might go to, they have, relatives, they watch TV, just regular, normal people. And they believe in their heart and soul. They go to bed thinking, and they wake up thinking that there's this thing called Carnival of Light. That's this majestic, long-lost, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, unreleased John Lennon masterpiece. And he's all got granny glasses on, and it's all sparkly and colourful. And there's this other thing called and they put a the in front of it. The Beatles say, this is not Helter Skelter. Put a the in front of it, the 27-minute version of Helter Skelter, and they think it's this brilliant, like, really, when I get to my bed, which I love, but 27-minute version of it, which if it was that, I would love that for 20 minutes, 27 minutes. Just listen to the real Helter Skelter 5 times in a row. But there's just not, it's just not exist. This just is not true. And this thing blows up and blows up. So the point I'm getting at, with Hollies, that is never, ever going to happen. But even still, when someone tells me something and they say, look, don't spread this or nothing, I don't spread this. So it's okay for me to mention John Maycraft and to mention, I think they're called Sound Cafe. I'm so sorry if I'm getting the name wrong, on SoundCloud. And you will hear Bernie Calvert is on this, like as he is today, or maybe a few years ago, and it's an updated version of, so is it called No More Snow on Heathermore, or is it called Snow on Heathermore? And where is Heathermore? Is that is it Pendle? Where sort of Burnley and Lancashire and, not Ancoats, I think that's a bit further, Eccles, what am I trying to remember? Nelson and Combe and Clitheroe. The bits where Bobby Elliott, the Dolphins part of the holiday, like the 2 teams, Alan and Graham, were from Salford. They're city boys, and these were like Hicks, no pun intended, but they were Hicks. No insult intended. They're from like the sticks. Hicks from the sticks. Bernie, Bobby, and Tony, and so all the places there. And is Heathermore one of those places? I don't know, but I should know because I've been there to visit. But so you can go and listen to that if you want. You'd have to, I don't know, I could include a link. I'm not going to remember. I can't even remember. Don't expect me to include a link. Find it. It's on SoundCloud. Type in Snow on Heathermore. Type in John Maycraft. Type in Sound Cafe. You will eventually find it. It will come up. And you'll get to hear. If you wonder where Bernie Calvert is or how he is, well, here he is. And he's doing an updated version of it. And it's a great piece. And I'd love to, if they play live, I'll go and see them. I don't know if they do, but if they do, I'd love to go. I'd go and see that in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even hesitate. Absolutely fantastic. Bernie Calvert there. Reflections of a Long Time Past. Brilliant. And he was like 24 when he wrote it. But there we are then. I mentioned him writing early on, he had that single with I can't remember what it's called. It's on the Oreo label. It's called the Young Julians or it's got a strange name, but there he is, Bernie Calvert writing. And so Bobby Elliott doesn't get a credit on this album, but he wrote, although his spoken piece, was that for Confessions or was that for this? So the only thing stopping from being absolutely perfect, the whole statement of Hollies Sing Hollies, would have been had Bobby Elliott got a writing credit on something, then all 5 of them would have been credited. But that's okay. And then Goodbye Tomorrow, an old Alan Clark thing, which sounds like a clean guitar, which has got to be Alan Clark playing it, plugged into a desk. To my ears, it might be a Stratocaster. Now, I've never tried to play this. I think it goes like... Is that right? Is it that? And then it goes into Goodbye Tomorrow, I'm leaving you today. And it's got one of those. Or maybe it doesn't, maybe I'm imagining it does. Nice song there. It's not one I've listened to enough times to get to memorise it, but I should do. And Bernie Calvert, it's got some great bits in it, and it might have the orchestra too, I think. I think it has. I don't need to. I want to show some of these autograph stuff, so I've played enough of them. Now, they have this album Rarities with Terry Sylvester on side 1, apart from one song, which is John Miles, and Graham Nash on side 2, and some great things came out on that. And also the Abbey Road collection, again, 3 volumes like these, and I got one signed by Graham, one signed by Alan, the Holy 80s Trinity of Alan, Tony and Bobby, and then the 3rd volume I got signed by Terry, so that's a nice way to have all of those represented. And when that came out, it had a thing on there called Sign of the Times, a great living together, and it's got this chorus of it, or something, and then he overdubbed it a modern solo. I used to know it. Oh yeah. And so on and so on. A great thing, I don't know if he overdubbed it on a modern PRS guitar or if he found an old Gibson and played it on that. I don't know, but I like that. And it doesn't. And Bobby does this da-dum, da-dum, this great fill in it. Is there Hammond organ on that? What else is on there? It's not a crime. Our folks are doing it. Sign of the times. So don't be mad. It sounds like Terry singing "We Love You," but it's got to be Tony still, or maybe all of them. We need your love and blessing. Then you've got till we do the right thing. Terry doing that. Till we do the right thing. I don't know if that's Alan and Tony, and I think there's one in between. Till we do the right thing. It's a great, really good song, and they left it unreleased. I mean, it's quite daring and modern. It's the Hollies singing about, well, living in sin. I mean, that's what they used to call it in those days. And then they're churchgoers, and they're doing songs about, believe in Jesus. You've got to believe in Jesus. How can you not? And then they're also doing songs about, no, but we're going to live together and not get married. You know what I mean? It's like so yeah. And again, this is just coming to me now. I haven't really rehearsed or thought about this or rehearsed it. A good thing, that Sign of the Times. I love that. And another one I like. Did I talk about She Looked My Way? Because I love that. Eleanor's Castle. Now that, apparently that's among the confession stuff. So I should probably get to that when I get to confessions. Yeah, I will. I'll save that for confessions if I remember. Hopefully I'll be reading this book and get to that. What's the one? Is it She Looked My Way? I love that song. Where is that? Great song. Yeah, number 20, disc 1, July 1969. So Les Reed wrote this. What? Did he write it? And Jackie Ray, it says it. I don't know if Jackie's a female or a male Jackie, but they're great song though. And I love how it changes from E to A, like. How does it go? Along with the grooviest crowd, pick the time of the same old routine. Before my heart can hope there was something more. Then it slows down, and a build up. I love this. Then as one can see, there was a change in me when she took my way. A simple pleasant she had made my day. That's a great song, this. When she looked my way, was there a chance she wanted me to stay? Why didn't I go to her? Why didn't I speak to her? Why did I let her go away? I love that go, and that, going to there. The F sharp minor 7th. I love that. Da da da, never go away. And I swear I'm not lying when I say I do not rehearse these songs. That I've never played in my entire life. I've just heard so many, in my years I've been alive, going to that. And I just knew that it did that. Such a brilliant song. I love that kind of writing. It's lost. Modern songwriting where they all have 3 chords and they all go, oh, oh, oh. Every song, there's so many adventurous things you could do in songs, and I wish that would come back. I really do. I love that style. Great song, that. She Looked My Way, and it just never got released. Well, they didn't write it, so it could have been earmarked. Maybe that was the single, and then they. But I was gonna hang on. You like to? Right? Nah. What I was going to say was maybe that was a single, and then Tony Hicks heard He Ain't Heavy and went, guys, forget that, wait till you hear this. However, it was recorded a month after He Ain't Heavy, so that can't have been the case. So I don't know why it was unreleased, but I'm glad it did come out on the Rarities album. Great song. Just to check I've not missed anything out. Sorry, Suzanne, not the red talk, but yeah, this is all the... That was last episode. And here we go. Do you believe in love? Yeah. Please sign your letters. Cozy like to love me. Please let me please. Goodbye tomorrow. She Looked My Way, which I've done just now. Love that. I wish I'd spent more time with that. I love that song. I'm going to learn that. I want to learn that song. I mean, God, the harmony on it. So you got Alan already going, she. So Terry would go, she looked my way. Was there a chance she wanted me to stay? Like that. Oh, man. They were so good, man. They were so good. Seriously, how can this woman's husband? You're an idiot. You're an idiot, man. The Hollies are something. But I kind of like that we're in this small club because I hate how it's what I talk about Beatles fans and they all go on about Carnival of Light and they're idiots and all these people who go, oh, Sir Paul, they're all idiots. So I'm kind of glad that Hollies fans, some Hollies fans are idiots, but and you're probably yeah, they are, aren't they? Piss off, right? Make your own podcast. I know what you're getting at. I know the jokes, man. I know the jokes because I wrote them before you even try and be clever. All right. Now, He Ain't Heavy, Soul Slim, Marigold song, Love Because You Like It. Why Didn't You Believe? Look at Life, Louisiana Man. I didn't really talk. Well, I talked about that in the 1968 episode. So they recorded that with Terry Sylvester, and they didn't do the Going Up in Keys, did they, Darken? So that's fun. Don't Give Up Easily. Reflections. Oh, so I Want to Shout is the next song. Now, by then, well, this is no, that's right, October. Really? So this album was like recorded as late as October. That can't be right. Is that right? Really? That's why some say it came out in 1970. Right? That's why. So it was really late. And then some of Confessions was already started in November. Now, Sign of the Times is November, so I probably should have done that for Confessions. I think of that as Hollies Sing Hollies. And then Eleanor's Castle, which is November, but by then, they'd already recorded 3 songs for the next album, Confessions. So I'll leave Eleanor's Castle, which I know people laugh at, they say it's funny or whatever, but no, I quite like that. I see where they're getting at, but I like that song. Now put this guitar down. Now I'll switch off the amp. Hope it hasn't been... I've really enjoyed it, going over some of them songs. I've enjoyed doing that. Thanks for indulging me in that. I've not even had this water, but I'll have to have it when I get home. I've got it and I've not had any of it. Right in. So you see my autographed He Ain't Heavy single, my autographed copy of Changing Times, my original Hollies Sing Hollies, which I think I got from HMV, or Virgin Megastore. Store. I got this new, it was all shrink wraps and that. This was a great series, and in 1999 these came out, a great way to get the Hollies catalogue. At the time, or at least the original albums. I'll tell you, I'll do the sheets first, the pages, magazine thing. I got magazines and you go and stop. I got magazines and then you stop. Oh God, but I got magazines. Right, I'll do them first, alright? Because I've got some good ones here. Like I say, I don't have hundreds and hundreds from this era. Most of mine are from the Dylan era. And like I say, I didn't know which ones applied to Dylan and which ones applied to Hollies Sing Hollies. I got this thing from a German side. Look at this line. Look at this Alan Clark. Look. Hi, I'm Alan Clark. No, I'm not. Hi, it's me, Alan Clark. In the Golden Girls, why does Stan go, hi, it's me, Stan? Like, you know who it is. Why did he knocks on the door, they answer it, and he goes, hi, it's me, Stan. Anyway, I love this. And on the back, it comes from another Hollies clipping there, but look at that. So there's a nice, and you can see, I think it's around the chin he's autographed it. Brilliant. And this is from 1969, and it's his 1969 signature as well. Absolutely love that. And I think one of these I got came with a load of bonus stuff, which isn't signed, but it's stuff from the time. I'm not going to turn it down. I won't take it all out here. You've got like you can't, it's so dark in here, you can't see it. There's all 5 of them on that field thing, and I've got the Tony and Terry. Well, I'll hold it next to each other. Bobby's in the centre. So this is what the whole poster looks like, and this part has been cut out. There are 2 copies of it, and someone had. So Tony and Terry have signed that, and I like blue felt pen. That looks like blue felt pen to me. And it's their signatures at the time. Although Tony is doing no, he's not. He's doing the T how he did it then. Terry, in his original signature, as it still was in 1969, his original signature, also 60s signature. Oh no, it's fallen out. Also being from this, a great colour shot of Terry. Shorter hair, so this is from the Dylan time, but I mistakenly have it for Hollies Sing Hollies because of the suit he's wearing. He signed it in his early signature there, his original 1969 signature. Great thing cut out from a magazine, a fan cut that out from a magazine, and then it got Terry's signature on it. So it's nice to have those three because they're good pieces, and this has got some scrapbook stuff. It's too fiddly to get out here, and then it's all going to be all dark and that anyway, and then I'll probably drop it trying to get it back in. So you'll have to take my word for it. And it's all for, it's a shame though, because there are some good photos. Well, I can probably just about get away with showing you that. They're very delicate, and a nice colour photo of them. In 1969, shortly after Terry joined, what's his haircut saying? Now, there's no date on here. I'm seeing, I mean, God, it could be Pop Photo spelled with an F. So it's from one of those European magazines. I don't know if they're Dutch or German. See, this, I'm trying to get it back in here, and it's all sticking on stuff, and I shouldn't have done that, but no, it's all right, it's fine. I won't risk it anymore. You see the kind of thing it is. It's just like a couple of pictures like that, one of which is a scrapbook. It's got some Graham on it, but mostly it's from early Sylvester times, and a fan has just stuck it all together. It's not autographed, but it doesn't always have to be. The fact that, I do like this one though, the Bravo one. I'm going to try and get this out. I think this is on the same photo shoot. Them in 1969 suits, there they are. But not what they would have worn on stage. That's like their leisure. That's their leisure wear. That's like their version of jeans. Like the Beatles used to do that when they'd turn up for rehearsals and sound checks or whatever it was, and the camera tests, and they'd still be wearing a suit. So I never got that. The idea of relaxing and what you want to wear in your leisure time when you're not working is still a suit and a tie. Like I don't understand that at all. But I guess that was just the time. So try and get this back in here. Yeah, good photos then. So to have Alan, Terry and Tony twice in large sort of colour original magazines from the time and signed at the time. Sign of the times, signed at the time. I'm chuffed to have them. And Alan, and they're all that size as well, so they can all go together like that. Brilliant. I have 4 copies of Hollies Sing Hollies. So I was at a record fair once and I found a nice copy with the yellow Parlophone label in good nick, and I thought, well, I want that because the idea of me sort of hopefully bumping into Bernie or getting all of them to sign it, and then I eventually I wanted just Bernie on his own because this is his debut album of him as a songwriter, and I said, I asked to sign the front and the back, I didn't mind, but he signed inside it, so I don't have this signed by Bernie. You know, I've got like 1,000 copies. I don't know, but there's in the blue pen that I provided, because I still liked blue pen, and I still do now. But there's Bernie there. His signature does look different, but you can tell it's him. Look how he does the B. You can still tell it's him. Now, can you see that? Yes, you can. That's great. That really great. That was my first copy. So I said I'm having that. And then I saw one online. No, not yet. What I then saw after that was the anonymous friend I mentioned who went and met 4 of them, and then I sort of tried to get them to finish off. So Terry Sylvester wasn't there, and I love it when you open it, when it's a gatefold, and I love it when they do it in different places, so the whole thing is signed. You got the front, Bernie Calvert, you open it up, and you can see they've got the shirts on again, those shirts, well 2 of them have anyway, and Terry's wearing the leisure suit I think he wears in that other photo, although, just going to check something, is he got longer hair in this? I can't see now, and then I have to go into it. It's always the last one you look at, isn't it? Yeah, slightly, so yeah, he is. Alright, so I've done that one. I got Bernie, I got not Terry Evans, Bobby Elliott, and then on the back, Tony Hicks and Alan Clark. Can you see them? I'm trying to get the shine on it. Alan has signed it on the shirt, you can probably see. Tony just above the... Yeah, there it is. Look at the word sing. Look to the left. Tony's classic signature then. Blue pens by the look of it. Alan Clark had a black pen. I think Alan Clark likes signing in black. I think that's his Bobby, Bernie and Tony all signed it in blue. But missing Terry Sylvester, as all of those ones were, and I knew that they were. And then I found one, a seller online had one, which is only signed by Terry Sylvester. So in essence, I got this album signed by the 5, and I like having one with just Bernie because, as I say, it's got his song on it. And that's modern Terry Sylvester. You can see how he signs it. Look on the cut, you can see it there. Clear and white. And like I say, I'm sort of over black pen now. It's like I don't care. I just, at this stage, you're lucky to just have anything at all. And if it happens to be black pen, I can live with it. I'm not going to be fussy and choosy. If I started doing this 20 years ago, and every day I regret my life, and I wish I did, but I didn't. You can't control, what the universe has in store. You just live your life, right? And I wasn't that interested 20 years ago. I was a little bit, but nowhere near. It took Eric Haydock's death to make me go, oh my God, I've got to do this. And of course, Eric Haydock is dead now, so I can't ever. And the other ones are either retired or you have to. And it's hard, as I get older, it's harder for me to travel and stuff. And then they're getting more and more protected. And also that maybe their signatures are getting shaky, or they just plain don't want to sign, or whatever it is. And it's a lot more difficult than it is now. So the point I'm getting at is it's so difficult that now I just go for anything. I don't care if it's, what colour they sign it. Obviously blue is ideal. But yes, I'm saying, had it been me, had I gone around the world 20 years ago and gone up and down the country and met, and Terry was still coming to England, I take it for granted now. He used to still come to England, and you'll never see Terry Sylvester in England ever again, I don't think. And I'm certainly not going to go to the States anytime soon. I'd love to be there, but it's just getting there. I'd love to wake up and be in the States. Hey, I'm in the States. And then wake up and go, the whole 10 hours on a plane, and it costs £1,000. And of course, my passport's run out, so I haven't updated it yet. But so you just take what you can get nowadays, and I'm fine with that. But yeah, had I done this 20 years ago, I would have had a blue pen. And although I say that, I had a black Sharpie when I first got into this, and I wanted to get my copy of Stay with the Hollies signed by all 5. That was actually black Sharpie, so maybe not. Moving on. So I thought, well, I've got all 5 of them signed. I don't need any more. However, a really friendly seller, Richard, his name was. Hi, Richard. He was great. And there's he left the little note you wrote there. He was he was on my page, that guy. Really, really nice guy. And I wish he had tons more. This is the only Hollies he ever saw in his entire life, and he didn't get it signed. It was and I wish because this guy is such a joy to deal with. Some sellers are such. Oh my God, I didn't want to say the word, but when I saw this, I thought, I've got to have this. An original copy on the yellow and black parlophone, Hollies Sing Hollies, right? And you open up, and they've all signed it together at the time in their signature. And it was a brilliant, so I could afford it too, like it. So I thought, I've got to have this, even though I've got all 5 of them on various copies. One, all in the same place. And purple biro, 1969, trendy I've got like some stuff by The Move from the same time, and they've used like pink biros and purple biros and stuff. So that must have been a fashionable thing at the time. And absolutely brilliant, all 5 of them. I'll hold it for long enough so you can hopefully see all 5. If you can't, Alan is near the spine thing. Bernie is on his shoulder. Bobby is on his shoulder. Terry's on the tie again. And he has put someone's name, a guy called Justin with a Y, I think. Justin with a Y. So you can't always avoid that. But I knew what I was getting in, and I thought, I still want this anyway, and I got it. And Tony Hicks, just next to his mane. Look at his mane. Brilliant. And this is this is an absolute gold, this copy. This is an incredible copy. I'm dead chuffed with. I love this. Hollies Sing Hollies, signed by all 5. And it's very nearly the end of the video, folksies. Hi, folksies. I'm not saying that. I say that. That's from Warner Brothers. Hello, folksies. And I've been saying that, but not. This is the first time I've said it on footage. How long just? Less than 90 minutes. Less than 90 minutes. So, bonus. American Terry Sylvester being that, as like I say, he's the equivalent of Graham Nash. He's now the Holly who lives in America, but for this lineup, just as Graham Nash is for that lineup. And so I like to get a complete set of American. I think I have, with Graham I've got a complete set of the Hollies albums with him on, with his autograph on them, and I'm aiming to get a complete set of, and I think I nearly have, Yeah, I probably have. Well, I'll find out as these episodes progress. But here is that they called the album He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother in America, so it must have been a hit there for them to call the album that. Does it say on the back? No, it talks about the song, but it doesn't say that featuring the hit He Ain't Heavy. And then the back cover's got a nice thing. It's from that same photo shoot, but Alan's holding some kind of light bulb or something, or I always had that glow thing. I don't know how they got that glow effect, whether it's a camera effect or whether Alan's holding a light bar, and it's got like the sort of grainy on it. It's quite good. It's quite moody. Is there anything on here? So I think, is it missing anything? Marigold and Glorious Swan Song, which I don't know if they put that on the next album in America. America was still altering songs then, but not drastically. Most of the album is on here. Look at Life, Don't Give Up Easily, Please Let Me Please. 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, side 1 is the same. Side 2 has and it's missing. No, it's not missing You Like Us You Love It. All Reflections. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we are then. So that's signed by Terry in blue. And I also have the CD version on Magic Label with the bonus tracks. And I better check actually if I've missed anything out. The bonus tracks, as they've chosen, are Cause You Like to Love Me. Don't see, it goes back to Sorry Suzanne, which I think is too early. That's a bonus track on Dylan, but I get it. Dylan didn't write that song, so they put it on here instead. Not that way at all. Yeah, Soldier's Dilemma and Marigold Glorious Swan Song. They're the two songs that are missing off the American version. They've put it on the CD. Louisiana Man, Sheila My Way, Sign of the Times, a live version of Sorry Suzanne, which I think is from Gold as Green. Settle Down, I think, did I talk about that in the last one? Why don't you tell me, brother? Maybe I'll settle down. And then Bobby does he does this brilliant drum. It's great, that. And it's like, and if they sing a verse each, we've got to talk about that. Terry Sylvester, Tony Hicks and Alan Clark sing a verse each. I love things like that, bands that do that. And then a live version of He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother, which I think they've taken from, Live Hits 1976. So that's all of it covered. This is from the Nigel collection. I never knew Nigel, may he rest, may he rest. He got so many Hollies things and Freddie the Dreamers and loads of people, really. His whole life was devoted to collecting up autographs and that, and he very sadly is no longer with us. And I've inherited quite a few of his, and I wonder what else is out there, but obviously more important, I wish I got to meet him, and I'm sorry for his family for their loss. Way more than hey, what else he got? I promise you, I am not, I've got some of his things, the Long Road Home box set, signed by all of them. I mean, that he just went round and found a copy of Hollies' Greatest Hits. Again, then I got Bernie Calvert added to it, and I continued his work. I'm pleased about that, and may he rest, and I wish I meet him. I know people who know him, and they say he was a lovely guy, really nice guy. And I just wonder what else, because he met all of them, so he might have got Hollies 65, and would you believe, signed by Eric Haydock. He might have done, and I hope that it's around somewhere, and I hope that it becomes that I, stumble upon it, is what I hope happens. But more than that, I'm sorry for whoever I wish I met Nigel. I would have had such a great laugh with him. He could have come on this program. We could have shown our collections, and I'm honoured that I have got. In fact, I'm going to dedicate this to Nigel. I never met you, Nigel, and I'm so glad that you were out there meeting these people, Terry Sylvester, Eric Haydock, Alan Clark specifically, and the other Hollies too, and just thanks, and may you rest, sir, you kind sir, you legend of a person, and I will carry on your good work, and I will treasure these treasures. I will treasure these you got Please Let Me Please, and I will treasure your treasures that you have left behind, but you won't be forgotten as long as I make this show, this podcast. Nigel, great guy. And if there is, what else is there to say? Thanks for sticking with me, everyone, watching this. Hollies Sing Hollies. It's an album, the fans tend to laugh at the front cover. I just think it's perfect. It sums it up. Okay, maybe it's a bit goofy and it maybe takes it away from the seriousness of the songs, but so what? They've got confessions, haven't they, if you really want to get serious. And of course, there are people who slag off that album cover. And then finally, you got Distant Light and Romany, which they're getting serious with the songs and serious with the artwork. But for me, it's striking. I can close my eyes and see that. you can look at a corner of that, and instantly identify it. Whether you think it's tacky or what, I don't care. That's Hollies Sing Hollies. That's Confessions. That's Distant. You know, you can just tell. And so great to be back here. I'm going to watch this later. I think some of it's going to be amusing. I hope that's not damp. I'm pointing to that. I hope it's not damp there. I hope it's just a darker colour or something worse than damp. Oh my gosh, I put the amp in it. Well, it doesn't stink or anything like, you know, when you get in a lift at the train station. So, thanks everyone for watching this. I really hope you like this one. We're still in the 60s, but I say that, when we go to the 70s, Confessions, some of which were still recorded in the 60s. So we haven't quite left the 60s yet. I can't believe I'm still making this. And I'm going to continue. This has been it's been getting round to doing these again. I try to do them once every few weeks or once a month, and I kind of let that slip. And I think I've lost a lot of viewers. I say a lot. I had 6 to begin with, and I lost. But it's here for, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? It's here forever. There might be people who were born and I'm not even around, and they've heard of this thing called the Hollies, and there's this guy, like, I never knew Nigel, I never knew Carl Wayne, I never knew Eric Haydock, and there's probably going to be people who go, there used to be this guy called Nathan Passard who was, for some reason, like, loved the Hollies. They were his thing. He was mad enough to make us a YouTube video about them and show off all their albums. So yeah, maybe they will, and so maybe you're seeing this in the future, and hi, I hope everything's all right. Is it raining? What's it like there? Well, I'm not going to find out, am I? So, doesn't matter. This is enough. Oy vey, I can't kneel on that. Oh God, I should not be kneeling. Ow. Right, enough of this. I'm going to go and try and stand up, okay? Listen to Hollies, sing Hollies, and I'll see you in the next episode. I know I've forgotten tons of stuff. I'll put it in the comments, or I'll say it next episode. Now come on, press stop now, press stop. Come on. I gotta go.